So, hello everybody, how y'all doing? So I'm coming up here on the 2nd of September, and I want to chit-chat. Chit-chat and talk about the energies, the year 2022. I'm sitting here lighting up me some cedar to begin our conversation. You can hear it. Might be able to see it. Who knows? I'm putting it back over there. So, I'm going to go ahead and talk about myself a little bit. So, these energies has really been highly interesting. I've been talking to a few people. It feels kind of good to know that I'm not the only one being affected with these energies and everything. So I was sitting there telling somebody about how the anxiety part of it had me feeling like when I was growing up in my time anyway. There's some Palo Santo right here that I'm also lighting. When I was growing up in my time, used to be certain toys. Boys still kind of have it more than the girls do. But used to be certain kind of toys that you have, and you have to wind the toy up and then it take off and go for itself. Boys could still do it in some of the cars that comes out. I was saying that it's funny how everything is really so connected. Playing with this toy, and here it is. It's an element. It's an element that has took form, and that element where I wasn't even really thinking about it in the sense that I'm doing now actually played a role. I wasn't thinking about it as feeling like that wind-up doll and just waiting to just go taking off to go somewhere. And then realizing, the same aspect really does happen where you stop doing something and you don't feel like doing it no more. You ask yourself why. The same thing, excuse me, I got some hiccups, with the wind-up doll. So, I've been going through a little bit of that energy right there, which prolonging me in doing my monthly videos. You're going to hear me shuffle. It's not about me really pulling cards. It's about me staying focused. I'm using different things to help me stay focused on this conversation. So, I was in preparation to come up here and do a reading. And I went into my little book, right? And I started going through the energies, right, of seeing here like, okay, September. Whole month of September, all the planets still, all retrograde. I just was scrolling all the way through. This is again on why I'm going to talk about 2022. I didn't really have plans, like I said, I was going to do a weekly energy, but, my guys just had me curious and nosy and stuff. Because I'm like, how much longer am I going to be feeling all this energy this way? So it had me up in there focused on a different way. And so, I'm just saying they create distractions and get the job done. Whatever it need to, be part of getting the conversation going. That's the way I look at it. And so, I kept going, and I noticed that October, right? Pluto goes direct on the 24th. I mean, not the 24th. I apologize. Pluto goes direct on October the 6th. Then Saturn goes direct October the 11th. And then Jupiter goes direct October the 18th. So I'm like, okay. I said, well, I just feel something that just came over me. You know what I'm saying? So I kept looking. I won't finish. So November, Neptune and Uranus is still chilling. They're in retrograde. So then I'm seeing here coming around. And December 1st, Neptune comes out of retrograde and is supposed to go direct. Now Venus is going retrograde on the 19th of December in Capricorn. Pluto just came out of Capricorn, so we got Pisces. And it's going to be heading into Capricorn season. Yeah. 2 days before Capricorn season. Oh my fucking God, I was tripping off of it. We still got all this air energy that's going on. We in the fire sign. Oh man. And you know, of course, it's like Libra season. Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter is coming out of retrograde in Libra season. Get the fuck out of here. So then I noticed in January, Uranus is going direct. Look like on the 18th. Is that the 18th? Let me see if I got it lined up right. Hopefully I got the rest of the dates lined up right. Yeah, the 18th. While Venus still in retrograde. And then Mercury go in retrograde on January the 14th. And when it goes in retrograde, Mercury gonna be a Capricorn. It's gonna be a Capricorn. And Venus is still a Capricorn. And the North Node is still going through it. North Node actually going to switch to Taurus on January, look like January the 19th. Oh my fucking God. The day after Uranus with Taurus come out of retrograde. Then Mercury going to retrograde, going to hit on retrograde period. I mean the North Node going to switch over in a retrograde period to Taurus. And we still in Capricorn season. Going into Aquarius. When Jupiter going into Pisces. And Aquarius is still with Saturn. Man, you know, I was sitting there, as you can hear me just sitting here. I don't know what y'all feeling. I don't know how good astrologies y'all are, whatever. How empathic you might could tell through my tone of voice. I'm not sure. Okay. I ain't even really up here to do a lot of predictions. I am up here to give guidance. And the reason why is because, you know, I'm hoping to regurgitate from the time that I went to look at all this information. Like, it was so much that was hitting me. And, you know, 2022 is all about the number 6, harmony. You know, it's funny because, you know, last month, Libra read, I was like, the fun ain't get started yet. And God damn it. But just also an energy part of me doing, because, you know, I like reading energy. I really do. And I know with me being an energy reader, I'm going to give more guidance than predictions. If you know, I guess, let me clear up my mental thought. Predictions is like coming more specifically and accurately. You giving somebody down to the T descriptions of how something going to look and all of that. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not the fact that I can't see none of that. It's almost like it's having a crystal ball. You know, and it's funny because it's like, I remember when I went out to try to invest into a crystal ball, and something just kept telling me that I need to be very open-minded. You know what I'm saying? And I needed to go back real quick and reread the research I did on them. And I realized that, for real, all just aside, the crystal ball was a protective tool that I believe that was there during those times. Because on your clairvoyant and when you read an energy, your brain already got a crystal ball up in there. It really does. So, you know, I'm just saying that with this air energy out, this logic is about to be shooken. You know, for example, we all somewhere have this contradiction for, you know, about air, oxygen. When you go to the hospital and they say, oh, you're not getting enough air. What the fuck you mean I ain't getting enough air? Because you're having trouble breathing. Then they put oxygen on you and it help out, right? So what is it about that rate of speed of the air that's going inside of you that's really helping, or supposed to be any different than the air if you didn't have those tubes? There is some type of psychological metaphysics that's going on that's out of our control in the logic system. Now, is it that way because oxygen is a production thing? It's an experimental thing. Scientists use it all the time. All the time. What is a lesson with all these theories? Like, you know, for example, the Great Reset. I need to get my phone out. You know, this is just my point of view. I'm going to get deeper into my guidance, you know, but first I need to kind of talk to you about it. And this is all my interpretations of what I see and the best way to describe things, and from watching other videos, the news. I mean, it's in Facebook news in different articles depending on where you go to. You know, not just Facebook, Yahoo. I mean, there's so many search engines. You go into the news and you Google in certain topics. You got plethora of opinions that's going on. So this is what, you know, on the Great Reset. I'm gonna go to the Bible real quick on everybody, right? So what I'm about to read is Judges 6:10-14. I said to you, I am the Lord your God. Do not worship the gods of the Amorites, in whose land you live. But you have not listened to me. The angel of the Lord came and sat down under the oak in Ophrah that belonged to Josh, the Abizrite, where his son Gideon was threshing wheat in a wine press to keep it from the Midianites. When the angel of the Lord appeared to Gideon, he said, "The Lord is with you, my mighty warrior." "Pardon me, my Lord," Gideon replied, "but if the Lord is with us, why all of this is happening to us? Where are all his wonders that our ancestors told us about? And when they said, did not the Lord bring us up out of Egypt? But now the Lord has abandoned us and given us into the hands of the Midian. The Lord turned to him and said, go in the strength you have and save Israel out of Midian's hand. And am I not sending you? Now, what is very interesting, first of all, is in verse 11, it said the angel of the Lord came. Now, through the conversation Gideon had to transform that angel into the Lord, because it was like he said, pardon me, my Lord. Gideon replied, but if the Lord is with us, then it's also said where it assumed that angel was possessed by the Lord. In number 14, and come out and say, the Lord turned to him and said, go in the strength you have. Right. I'm going to get to my point. I just want to enjoy this moment. So I'm going to read another section. Alright, this is Judges 2 through 10. After the whole generation had been gathered to their ancestors, another generation grew up who knew neither the Lord nor what he had done for Israel. Then the Israelites did evil in the eyes of the Lord and served the Baals. They forsook the Lord, the God of their ancestors, who had brought them out of Egypt. They followed and worshiped various gods of the people around them. They aroused the Lord's anger. Because they forsook him and served Baal and the Ashtaroth, in his anger against Israel, the Lord gave them into the hands of raiders who plundered them. He sold them into the hands of their enemies all around, whom they were no longer able to resist. Whenever Israel went out to fight, the hand of the Lord was against them to defeat them, just as he had sworn to them. They were in great distress. Then the Lord raised up judges who saved them out of the hands of these raiders. Yet they would not listen to their judges, but prostituted themselves to other gods and worshiped them. They quickly turned from the ways of their ancestors who had been obedient to the Lord's command. Whenever the Lord raised up a judge from them, he was with the judge and saved them out of the hands of their enemies, as long as the judge lived. For the Lord relented because of their groaning under those who oppressed and afflicted them. But when the judge died, the people returned to the ways even more corrupt than those of their ancestors, following other gods and serving and worshiping them. They refused to give up their evil practices and stubborn ways. So, what did this all got to do with everything? It's great. I mean, you say you got the great reset. Well, Judges 2:10 say 2:10 through 19 speak of a great reset too. But notice that I went from Judges 6 to Judges 10. Because somewhere through all this process, Gideon was obedient to the ancestors. Had to be, because Gideon was like, my ancestors is sitting here telling me that, you done freed us from Egypt, but what the fuck is going on the fuck here? What is actually happening in the world again? What is the lesson? For example, we love performances. We love the arts. We could talk about Illuminati all we want, but we love the performing arts. It wasn't the Illuminati that made you believe in a concentration camp. It was the pain and the suffering. But in believing in a concentration camp, what lesson did we learn that we should be learning now? Why is everybody talking about angry about the mass mandate? Why is that important? How did that play a role in a concentration camp? Some of those guys didn't even walk out with masks on. I know some books that say Hitler has died from his own poison. What part of that might not have been true? How did it actually go away? Not only that, like in the Bible, right? Even using that I read, one what I read that I'm about to use example on, but Jesus is supposed to entertain Mary at a party, and it was like, son, can you turn this water into wine for me, please? And now I got turned into something. And everybody's talking about Jesus coming back. I see it's a lot of air energy that's going on up in all of this stuff. All these changes about to hit in Libra season. We're looking at September right now. We are the 2nd. So the moon then transferred into Pisces. The sun is in Virgo. The north node is in Gemini. Mercury is in Libra. Venus is in Libra. Mars in Virgo. Jupiter in Aquarius. Saturn in Aquarius. So we got all these thinking energies that's here. We got every energy in the closer planets that's all about reenactment. Wow. You got Uranus in Taurus, Earth. You got Neptune in Pisces, which is water. And then you got Pluto in Capricorn, another Earth. So you got all this reenactment. You got all this excitement going on. And it's what? Is it just really just helping you invent another word? Is it helping you use the same vocabulary and rearrange it around? Is it really helping you feel like you living? What I'm trying to also say is a lot of respect. A lot of demands is coming out. And this one thing in guiding people that I'm going to help out on a question, like, for real, I'm going to give you something to think about. Like, we talk about respect, but every type of religion has some form of a generational curse of embodiment. Meaning, you could go to the old Risha. There's still an initiation process, so is this why we're talking about awakening? You go over to the Hindu culture. That's why their names stay consistent, because they embody and ready. They keep a legacy going through. People do it over in this country. We continue on with that. We got to pay to change our name. The woman got to submit to the man, and a lot of women have fought it. But normally it's the woman had to submit to the man and carry his name. You have all these legacies. Even in Islam, it's a lot of versions of pronouncing Allah. Bismillah. Still have Allah in it. Inshallah. Still have it. It's so many different versions of using Allah. Still a legacy with Muhammad. You know, you still have a legacy when it comes to Buddha. You know, it's a division. It's always been wars. I just read something so old. You got the Chinese dynasties that fight against each other. So it's like, what is really resetting? What is really being rapidly produced? What is really new? But the really crazy part about it, why does it feel new? Why when you go to school and get an education, why when you pick up a book that you heard online, why when you read a nook, why all of that still prompts that excitement? Talks about some more scenarios. I like the Kanye West one. I like the fire thing. Because the thing is, growing up for me, right, it was always said that ancestors, just to get into all these scriptures, right, that scripture, that point is very important right now to the overall thesis. But, you know, they used to always say the rainbow came about because it was a promise God was never going to flood the land like it did in Noah. It'll come back in fire. So in the 2000s, fire came about in 2001. I'm just not calling all the dates out, but fire came out in 2001. And from that fire, it made social media. But what was the laws? The Welfare Reform Act, the No Child Left Behind Act, the Black Lives Movement, the spiritual movement, the holy listed, the past regression, the ancient aliens. All this stuff was booming. Technology coming out. You getting computers. Oh, you can open up your own website. You get all these businesses. Everybody is putting all their desire in. And notice what I said in September. How much fire is up in here in September? The Juno and the Chiron. Juno and Chiron are the only ones that got the fire energy. And those are the most significant ones in order to control desire. If it's all about the Great Reset. So what I was reading was something called about the lost generation. Now, it's a trend at this point in time to talk about every generation. Generation X is like this, and the boomers is like this. The millennials is here, and Generation Z. It's a trend to do videos. It's a trend to show, oh, we were streak here, we went from here. But what is we really showing? Are we really showing the fact that how much we love control, how much we love power, how much we love organization? Is this the reflection that's really coming off on the planets? So 2022 is coming in. What is it going to harmonize with all these abundant ideas? Oh, once you get awakened, you got to be isolated. The chosen ones is isolated. You got to have your chakra here. I'm not saying none of that is true. But what I am saying is, all of it didn't fit for me and my journey. I needed, they sent help every which possible way, in different ways. Me going to school for philosophy was part of it. It helped me read energy a lot better. It helped me contain things a lot better. It put up a resistant wall. So there's always different courses for different people. And that's why I like being a guider. It's not that I don't have no experience. My journey ain't really been 100% easy. I don't know what easy is anymore. And I mean that in so many different versions. I could describe easy. I know when I'm in an easy mode. But easy is a dimensional thing. I've been having rough dreams lately. Matter of fact, I sleep with certain stones. One of my stones, I was having some real rough dreams. And one of my stones ended up getting broken. Right there. And this just happened recently. So it's always metaphysics. People have their own journey. You know, we are grouped together at the same time. I'm just saying, you know, we already incorporated, we energetic beings. We already have enough of calling ourselves empaths, Starks, Childs. We like the gifts and the crafts. It's just so much that's here, but you know, I guess my old soul, I don't rise up in excitement a whole lot no more. And it's not because it's nothing new underneath for the sun. Because technically it is always something new underneath for the sun. It's just the energy has its own way of recycling. I mean, it's nothing that we don't do that they don't let us do. For example, you know, video games is for all sexes. It's nothing that you're not teaching your kid to cause harm to, in some sense, whether they playing or you feel that it's more appropriate for them to fight with how doll babies or action figures fight. That's your personal opinion. I feel on a level when it comes to the higher authority, the spirit guides, the planets. I don't know the best name calling for this for it at all. It could be a Pacific culture or whatever. I mean, I'm a spiritual person, so this is why I'm talking. I respect every religion. So when people tell me I need to pick a side, I am on my side. You just like the knowledge that I bring. You like the knowledge that I'm out there, and I can give your religion so much respect. I can give more respect to yours than you give to me. But it's okay, because one thing about every deity or culture that represented through a deity, for example, Buddha. Buddha was a little feisty thing, you know. Buddha got all the way to the point of like walking. I ain't eating nothing, I ain't drinking nothing, I ain't doing nothing. Like the Buddha energy right now is very potent to change people on health plans, you know, to enforce the veganism. Buddha thing is very significant, and it comes with the number 40. It comes with the number 40. So what I'm trying to say, you know, he had one part of his journey Look, this card flipped over. He had one part of his journey, right? But he was evidence. Show yourself, Lord. Show yourself. I want to see what you are, what it is. You're fucking with me. Show your goddamn self. I'm going to do the way of the people. And I'm saying because in the book of Judges, it's talking about the ancestors and this, but that's how Buddha came about, because it changed the culture. Because the original culture, when you was tired, you just wandered off and you gave yourself back to the earth. Yeah, the animals, everything ate on you. That's how they recycled. That's how they kept things clean. So Buddha was going by his culture. But what gave him that strength or that change, almost like when the Lord said to Gideon, well, get your ass over there and say them. Now, am I sending you? That's what you need to hear. You need to hear somebody. You need to hear me tell you to do something. Then believe that I'll be there with you. Okay, there you go. You got it. And I mean, it rained on Buddha for 40 days and 40 nights. That was something. Man, I was reading that jink on the empath tip, and I was like, gosh almighty, dude. I know you had to be cussing that motherfucking out. Man, for real. If Oye was part of that journey for Buddha in any kind of way, I'm just saying that because she the goddess of the storms and all of that, right? Because it rained on him 40 days and 40 nights. It was like, I felt my eyes popping back in my socket. I mean, that even could have been an Isis moment. Like, it's plenty of goddesses that have brought things back, right? More than the men, to be honest. So, maybe it's just to go with the thesis, women's supposed to love harder. I don't know. Maybe that might be a culture change where men start showing more love. And they're going to come out with creative stories about how the men, was able to do it. Because, it is what it is, because Buddha was all about spirit. And Buddha was the fact of the inheritance of, I don't want to mess up his name, is Shahara, was his original name, and it changed over. So, and that's how Buddha came about. Well, not from just that. I mean, he had to go through the test at the tree. But I'm just saying, on the 40 days and 40 nights, Buddha still felt like he won't answer. I still don't understand what you meant. Okay, you brought me back, you got me here, and I came home, and I had a baby, got married, and you still lingering here. So this is the thing of 2022 coming in with all this retrograde. It's coming in with fury. I do believe that. When Venus hitting the retrograde right around that time, you talking about what you love, how you love. And I'm going to tell you one thing that I think majority of the average, I don't care what nationality you are, where you're going to fall short at the most on the test, is the fact of proving you love avidity. And the reason why I say that, because too many people now these days feel like they embody avidity. Or they show respect to avidity. But we don't have that vision yet to give respect as if it was true. We can entertain the conversation, but we don't get that respect. Even from the thesis of Jesus being inside of everybody. We could talk about how we respect. I don't care how you do it, what religion, how spiritual, and I even fall short. But it take a lot of courage to come out and say, I'm going to fall short on that for the rest of my life. And it takes even more of a lot of courage to understand, if you know you're going to fall short on that for the rest of your life, then there's some conditions around here in love. Why are you promoting unconditional love when you know it's conditions? And unconditional come through the process, through the test. See, if you're on the awakening process, that unconditional breaks you down. It's not about being isolated. It's about really letting it shine. But we promote the isolation because we're not ready for it to shine. But 2022 is going to let it out. It's gonna crack that beam of it. That energy is stored, it's harvest, and it's ready to go. And when Uranus hit that Jenga in 2022, that jank come in full blast. And I don't call it no love bond. I just call it like it's part of us. We need something to write about in history. Some people need to believe they're breaking a generational curse. People need to believe in change. You need to believe in newness. You need to believe in a motivational. It's every element to keep existence worthwhile experimenting. So, this regurgitation really do feel pretty good. I'm giving the guidance the best way I can. And I understand right now in this community, y'all like predictions. Y'all like somebody telling y'all, oh, they did this to you. You're going to bounce your ass back and you're going to do that. And that's cool. But I ain't really trying to say all that shit. I'll tell you if it's true, if we had a personal reading. But up here, so many people, like, for real, I don't have to discuss my vision, but I ain't got to say, goddamn bullshit neither. It's still heartache and pain. Even for me, one day, my black ass gonna go. I'm gonna hurt people when my time comes. They going to miss me. So every day, it is always popping. This world is full of regeneration. Like I said, we all connected to it. You recycle your clothes by washing them. You go out here, we got so many organizations in this world that talk about a budget. A budget is nothing but a recycle. When you talking about investment, it's nothing but a recycle. When you talking about telling somebody to go out here and get a job, it's nothing but another form of recycle. Whether you taking the trash out, when you go and get in that shower, that water is nothing but recycled water. Everything is about a recycle. That's what it's all about. In 2022, got some nice recycles. It's all about recycle. That's the way that I see that they're going to harmonize everything with a number 6. You can't beat equality in the word re. You cannot beat re. Re is all about something before. And balancing things out. How many people want justice? How many people want a better house? How many people want a new car? How many people want to move up? How many people want to be awakening? How many people want this? How many people want that? Every single day you're going to wake up and you're going to want. And if you want the same thing every day, tell me how that don't fall under re. If your thoughts are recycling to become your motivation, isn't recycling in the regular economical factor is called efficiency, energy efficient program. So it's an energy efficient program, right? So yeah. And that's what 2022 going to be about. Energy efficient. What is the energy that's efficient? I don't know. It's so much. It's so much. It's a whole lot. But I'm just telling you that I'm hoping when the book of Judges that you realize, like, how many times are you going to prosecute somebody? How many times is it going to take for you to be so judgmental? Why does it feel so good to be judgmental? when we go up on social media platforms and talk all this stuff up there, why do it feel so good? I'm just saying, why does it feel good to feel like you awaken? That's my cue. I need to go ahead and take that phone conversation, but you know, 2022 is all about recycle. I appreciate everybody who stopped past and come and listen. Hopefully you take it for what it's worth, but I will still be doing my weeklies and touching in on the energy as we go through, and tell you how these shifts and different bangs will happen through this time and all of that. I will help y'all out the best way I can. But the overall theme is we can recycle. I don't know about that being a reset. That's why I pulled up the Book of Judges. Like, that jank is a few years old, and then when it was supposed to have been written, it's over 1,000 years old. So, I don't know. Take it for what it's worth. Good luck.